On a quiet fall afternoon in 2015, in the small mountain town of Riverside, Colorado, a 14-year-old girl named Amelia Havens walked out of school for the last time. She didn't know that only a few miles ahead, hidden behind the tree-lined Riverside trail she walked so many times before, someone was waiting. Someone who had watched her for weeks. Someone who knew her schedule better than her own family. This is the story of the Riverside Vanishing, a case that shook Colorado to its core, a case filled with misleading clues, strange letters, and a shocking ending no one expected. Amelia was the youngest daughter of Ruth and Daniel Havens. After her parents' divorce, she lived with her mother in a modest two-bedroom house overlooking the foothills. People described her as bright, artistic, and unbelievably kind. She painted, took pictures of sunrises, and dreamed of becoming a wildlife photographer. But beneath that cheerful smile was a girl still struggling with the pain of losing the stability of a family she once had. On October 14, 2015, school ended like any other day. Amelia wore her brand new jacket and shoes that were still too stiff, causing her to complain to friends about the discomfort. Her friend Sophia told her to ride the bus home, but Amelia laughed it off and said walking would help break in the shoes. That was the last time anyone saw her alive. When 5 p.m. came and went with no sign of her, her mother initially assumed Amelia's phone had died. By 6 p.m., concern turned into panic. Phone calls to friends brought no new information. At 7:02 p.m., Ruth called 911 and reported her daughter missing. Police immediately began searching the area. Riverside was a small town. Missing children weren't something they dealt with often. Officers canvassed the route Amelia always walked, the long stretch beside the Riverside Trail. But the more they looked, the more unsettling the situation became. There were no signs of a struggle. No dropped backpack, no shoe prints, no abandoned items. It was as if Amelia had simply vanished. The next morning, her phone's last ping was traced to a spot 1.3 miles from her home, right beside the Riverside Trail. But the device was never found. The town mobilized in a way no one had ever seen. Volunteers, drones, dogs, everyone searched for days, yet nothing surfaced. As with many cases involving teenagers, police first looked at people close to her. The first person they questioned was her 15-year-old boyfriend, Ryan Miller. Ryan was devastated, insisting he had nothing to do with her disappearance. His alibi was airtight: a birthday party, multiple witnesses, and even security camera footage backing him up. Still, detectives kept him in their peripheral vision. Weeks passed. The case went cold. Then something unexpected happened. 7 weeks after the disappearance, Ruth opened her mailbox and discovered an envelope addressed in Amelia's handwriting. Inside was a short message. "Mum, I'm alive. Don't look for me. I'm safe. Please trust me." Police analyzed the letter. The handwriting matched Amelia's, but investigators weren't convinced. There were no fingerprints, no smudges, no DNA. Almost too clean. Psychologists suggested the letter might have been written under pressure, or worse, forged by someone skilled. 3 days later, a second letter arrived. This time, it was longer. "Mum, I'm with someone who cares about me. I'll come home when the time is right. Don't trust the police. They don't understand the situation." This message set off alarms. Why would a 14-year-old suddenly distrust the police? Who was she with? Was she alive, or was someone using her handwriting to manipulate the investigation? The case took another strange turn when a hiker named Gary Benson claimed he saw a girl matching Amelia's description near an abandoned ranger station deep inside the Pines Forest. When police investigated, they found something chilling. Inside the abandoned station was a sleeping bag, half-eaten food, and a small blue hair clip identical to the one Amelia often wore. But there was no Amelia. For months, the case dragged on. Rumors spread across town. Some believed she ran away. Others thought she had been kidnapped by a drifter. Some even suggested her father's new wife had something to do with it. But police continued searching quietly, convinced Amelia hadn't left willingly. Then came the breakthrough. During a routine revisit of old files, one detective noticed something odd. Amelia's route home always passed by a house belonging to a 29-year-old man named Caleb Turner. Caleb had no criminal record, but he was a loner, rarely interacted with neighbors, and had once been fired from a youth center after students complained about his behavior. Police had initially dismissed him due to lack of evidence. But when investigators pulled surveillance footage from a gas station on the afternoon Amelia vanished, they discovered something haunting. A blurry video of a car identical to Caleb's following her from a distance. Detectives moved quickly. They brought Caleb in for questioning, but he remained calm, emotionless, and chillingly cooperative. He claimed he was at work. His employer supported his alibi, but something didn't sit right with detectives. 2 weeks later, an officer patrolling near Pineshaw Forest noticed tire tracks leading into a restricted maintenance road. The tracks matched Caleb's tires. When police searched deeper into the forest, they found a small, hidden cabin, one that didn't appear on any map. What they discovered inside changed the case forever. In the cabin, they found a mattress on the floor, chains bolted to the wall, clothing belonging to a young girl, Amelia's school ID, and a notebook containing disturbing writings. But what struck investigators most were the letters. Inside the notebook were drafts of the letters supposedly written by Amelia. The handwritings matched perfectly, but the words weren't Amelia's. They were Caleb's. Police realized the terrible truth. Caleb had been stalking Amelia for months. He forged letters to mislead the investigation. He manipulated the town into believing she was running away. But the biggest question remained. Where was Amelia? The answer arrived the very next morning. A hiker found a shallow grave near the forest's ravine. Inside was the decomposed body of a teenage girl. Dental records confirmed it was Amelia. She had been murdered months earlier. Caleb Turner was arrested within hours. During interrogation, he remained emotionless. He denied everything at first, then broke down during questioning, claiming he never meant to hurt her. According to him, he approached Amelia on the trail, convinced she would understand him and choose to stay. When she tried to escape, he panicked. Investigators later concluded that Amelia died within 48 hours of her kidnapping. The letters Caleb sent were part of a twisted plan to buy time. The trial was intense, with the entire community following every detail. Prosecutors revealed Caleb had an obsession with teenage girls and had been rejected repeatedly in life, fueling his delusions. The jury found him guilty on all charges: kidnapping, murder, and obstruction of justice. He was sentenced to life without parole. But the story doesn't end there. Months after the verdict, Ruth received one final item from the police: the notebook Caleb used.
Inside, among the disturbing pages, was a drawing, a watercolor sketch of the Riverside Trail. And beside it, in small letters written by Amelia during her captivity, "I want to go home." Today, a memorial bench stands near the trail where Amelia took her last walk. Locals leave flowers, photos, and messages. Her story is taught in local schools, reminding children to trust their instincts and communities to act quickly when someone vanishes. And every year, on the anniversary of her disappearance, the town lights candles by the riverside. Not because they want to remember the tragedy, but because they want to remember the bright, artistic girl who loved sunrises, painting, and the simple joy of walking home.